Welcome into the Davis Football Show, everyone. My name is Nick Davis, and we're here with my brother Rob in the Davis Studios. Thank you so much for listening today. We are going to be covering all things football for you sports fans. This is the DFF. Hey, what's up, Rob? Welcome back.
Hey, what's going on? How's it going?
How about that Super Bowl?
I loved it.
Super Bowl 55.
I'm sure you did too with the bet you made.
Tampa Bay. Yeah. I definitely won some money. Although I did bet on the Chiefs to win with a few different people. But I had a nice little parlay that made all that back up and then some.
Yeah, you did.
I double hedged it though too. I took Tampa Bay in a different bet with the points being under 48. That panned out too pretty nicely.
I mean, yeah, that's the best way to bet.
And it's crazy like that. Always, like, I shouldn't say always, but it definitely happened this year where it happened in the Super Bowl. You know, I don't mess around with any of that other stuff just yet. Like, if it's like I put money on the NFL and that's it. So winning like that in the last game, like, you're on a high. You want to keep going, but it's you gotta wait till September.
I told you, gotta start watching basketball.
Yeah, I should just get into basketball. Golf maybe too.
Nah.
I hear some big money on golf.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I wouldn't bet on golf.
Tampa Bay won for all of you guys who are listening to the podcast because of our voices. Tampa Bay won. Tom Brady won his 7th ring. He now has more Super Bowl victories than any team in the NFL ever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
the
that's
next
crazy.
closest team is the Patriots, who he won all 6 with, and now he got the 7th with Tampa Bay, which is Tampa Bay's only their 2nd Super Bowl, and it's their first time even being in the game in 18 years.
Yeah, I mean, having more Super Bowls than any other franchises, I mean, I don't even think that ever been done before in any sport.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Bruce Arians, the coach, correct me if I'm wrong, he's the oldest coach to win a Super Bowl, correct?
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I believe he's 68, about to be 69. I'm pretty sure he's the oldest coach to ever win a Super Bowl, which is remarkable. He retired from coaching actually a few years back when he was with the Cardinals. He got there before. He just never was able to get the deal done.
Yeah, I know Bruce Arians. He's one of the oldest coaches. I just don't know all the coaches that won it before, but yeah, I won't be surprised about that stat.
He won Super Bowls as an assistant, as coordinators. I believe with Pittsburgh, but this was his first time as the head coach, and he had a really good staff with him too. There's Byron Leftwich as offensive coordinator, Todd Bowles as defensive coordinator. There's a lot of controversy behind them, not getting any opportunities to take on head coaching jobs, and I think it just makes this team that much more dangerous next year because all of them dudes are coming back.
Yeah. I think Bowles he's gonna get another head coaching job for sure after next year, after what he did in the Super Bowl.
I think Byron will too.
Yeah. I'm just not sure about next year, but I know but with Todd Bowles here, I think that's the most impressive thing I've seen in a long time in the Super Bowl. What that defense did to Mahomes.
No, you're absolutely right there. And you know what else I can see with Leftwich there? I can see him just taking on Tampa Bay when Arians retires. I know Arians said he's definitely coming back to chase number 2. But after that, as far as like his third, win or lose, is Arians back 2 years from now? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if he is.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Leftwich could step in But
Yeah, or maybe Todd Bowles even steps in and Leftwich is comfortable sitting behind Bowles, knowing that he's going to be like CEO of the offense. Like he's not going to report to anyone when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. Todd Bowles is going to be the head coach and oversee the whole operation and really have his hands in the defense. But it's really going to be Leftwich's show, and if that ends up being the case.
Yeah, who knows?
And if Tom Brady comes back for a third year in Tampa.
Yeah, who knows if Leftwich even want to be there once Brady leaves.
Yep.
You're
making phenomenal points there, yeah. So, going back to it was a clinic what Tampa Bay put on. It wasn't even it was close in the beginning, but it got out of hand really quick. And I really believe, not to make excuses or anything, I know a lot of people are talking about penalties and things like that. But like my biggest thing, I think like the injuries really impacted them pretty significantly. We can go down the list, and I know, everyone says that everybody's hurt in the playoffs, especially when you're in the Super Bowl. Everyone's banged up, and yes, I get that. And Tampa Bay had players out too, but the blows that Kansas City took in the AFC Championship game, like they lost Fisher, which was big time. Schwartz, the other tackle, was out, and they had a significant offensive line movement right before the Super Bowl. And then Mahomes' toe was banged up, which I do not think he played worse because of his toe. Like, I think he definitely didn't play good, let me make that clear. But I don't think his toe is a reason why he played bad. But I do think psychologically that the team, mainly the guys on the offensive side of the ball, did not think that a huge comeback was something that was obtainable due to all the injuries. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel like the offensive line had them being injured had a point, but I mean, losing one play on offensive line isn't gonna make the whole offensive line that much worse. I mean, I guess it is, but I mean they were missing 4 starters, and they were missing 3 starters for most of the year. So I mean, it's not like a huge change from what they were playing with before, but yeah, that definitely had a huge effect. And yeah, the toe injury, yeah, I didn't see it affect him at all in the Super Bowl really that much.
Yeah, and I do know they only lost one more lineman, their best lineman, Fisher, the left tackle, in the AFC playoff game. And I know they were playing with a hurt O-line all year. But I do think that, and I could have sworn they said that when Fisher got hurt, they had to then move like 3 other people, like 3 other backups into different spots because of it. So they moved like the backup right tackle to now left tackle. Then they moved the backup guard to right tackle, and then they brought in a second backup in at guard. Like, it was just a lot of new first-time positions for a lot of players. And when I say first time, I mean, going into the Super Bowl new in that spot than what you were playing all year. At the end of the day, they're paid millions of dollars to be interchangeable and able to, should be able to get it done. But they were going against one of the best defensive fronts in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, most of I feel like a lot. Everyone's trying to blame the O-line, but honestly, I think it's on the coaching more than the O-line because they didn't make any adjustments. They were just thinking their 5 linemen could block their 4 defensive ends before defensive linemen, and it wasn't working.
Yeah, you know what? You make a really good point there. I think because they weren't blitzing and playing like a 2-deep shell, they didn't keep any additional blockers in, using like tight ends or running backs or getting creative, rolling outside the pocket, things like that. And what I think also hurt them was not being able to play action because the running game was never established. in the second half, you saw them come out and run the ball, and they were actually running quite well, but they were just so far behind they couldn't sustain it. They had to pull up and start throwing it, especially when they fell behind. I think it was by 2 scores there. Like they needed to make something happen and get points on the board fast, and once they just started doing that, I think it was a third down throw that Kelsey dropped in the third quarter. It seemed like after that they were a different team, and like they all hope was lost.
Yeah, it was a bad game for the whole team and the coaching staff. I don't think there was coach didn't coach well, players didn't play well. Just got beat bad.
Yeah, not to completely come off the game or anything, but let's talk about, since you brought up coaching, let's talk about Eric Bieniemy, and same thing with the Tampa Bay coordinators. He didn't get the attention everyone expected him to get. He was a hot coaching candidate last year that everyone was shocked didn't get a job, and it was, people were saying he was like a lock to get a head coaching job this year, and then here we are. Him not getting offered, and there's some pretty questionable head coaches over there in Houston, in Philadelphia, in Detroit. I mean, he's definitely more proven under Andy Reid and on this, juggernaut of a team, but that doesn't necessarily make him the better coach either. So, is he being blackballed, or is he really not ready, or have some serious flaws that maybe not everyone knows about?
I think he just don't want to leave, because he could have. I think he could have easily got a job by now, but it's just maybe he's waiting for the right fit, because there's no way he's getting no's from everyone. Because I mean, he could have easily got the Chiefs job. He could have got the Jets job, I think. I feel like
So you're saying that he's turning these jobs down,
yeah,
and not being declined from. But didn't he not even interview in half of these jobs?
I know he had 6 interviews.
Okay.
But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I just think he's not ready to leave. Well, I mean, he's good enough to be a head coach, but he just don't want to leave the Chiefs yet.
Yep, and that's very true. Fit is everything. You look at Josh McDaniels. He was a young, coordinator that was supposedly, the next big thing. Goes to Denver and absolutely flops, and it wasn't going to work. And then that crazy stuff that happened in Indy. I don't even know exactly what went down there, but. Yes, you make a good point. A bad team and a bad quarterback can make a coach look very suspect, especially when you're young too. What's the rush? Find a spot that you're going to be in, because you don't get, if you have a bad head coaching experience over a couple of years and you get let go, you might not get a second shot.
Right, exactly. And I mean, what's Andy Reid? He's going to be 63 next season. So I mean, 5 years he could retire. He could still have Mahomes in his 20s.
Exactly true. The same way we're talking about Todd Bowles and Leftwich. I mean, he can be the heir apparent there in Kansas City with Mahomes. Mahomes is going nowhere. If Bieniemy can easily just link up with Mahomes and be the next Sean McVay, right?
Exactly right. If Reid retires in 5 years, I mean, and Bieniemy's still the offense coordinator, I mean, who else are they going to hire?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's no question. He will be the guy, and maybe that's the best move. Maybe that's his play. He's young enough. Like you said, Reid, him and Mahomes could be together. 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And at the end of it, it's going to be Mahomes the one that's walking off before him if everything goes well and Mahomes continue to be the superstar that he is.
Yeah, I mean Mahomes. What is he? 25, I think now. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean he could go for another 15 years easy.
Yep, and the only way, if they just continue to lose in the playoffs and not make it back to the game, very similar to Mike McCarthy, like Bieniemy could very much be that way, but I don't see Kansas City sitting on him the way Green Bay sat on McCarthy year after year. He's going to have opportunity here. He will have opportunities to get it done. Again, these are all hypotheticals, given the fact that he sticks around for Andy Reid's retirement.
Yeah. I got a question for you. So who do you think gets the most blame for the Chiefs' loss?
I think. You're like going hard on coaching. I wouldn't necessarily have said, although I don't think they called a perfect game either. I think the media definitely is blaming refs, but I don't agree with any of that. All of those were legitimate in my eyes. I think a lot of the blame. I think injuries, like I said, play the biggest part, and I don't mean injuries. It's more so psychologically. I think the injuries gave the Chiefs doubt that they're used to playing with so much confidence and being able to come back from anything, but it seemed like when they kept dropping the ball, very, very literally, they lost confidence with every play.
Yeah.
And I think the injuries had a lot to do with that. Knowing Mahomes' foot was banged up, knowing Fisher wasn't in there, all of that.
Yeah, I definitely think coaching, the play calling wasn't, not the play call, the actual, just the game plan coming out of halftime for sure, and even before halftime. Why was Andy Reid why are they calling timeouts when right before halftime the Bucs were trying to run out the clock?
Exactly.
They were begging them to throw it.
It was the Green Bay game all over again.
Exactly.
They're clearly moving the ball. They've been all half, and you can go into halftime. What was it, 14-3? And you leave it open for them to move down the field.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like once they got that first down, it was like, oh, let's pack it in, and they march all the way down and score. It was crazy. It was very mismanaged.
Yeah, very mismanaged. And I'm talking so much about the coaching, but in the media, they're making Mahomes seem like he won Super Bowl MVP, but I seen Lamar been having the same game now the whole year, most of the year. He been running around, and then they blame it on him like it's his fault.
Yeah, true. I can see that. Mahomes, he made some of the most incredible incomplete passes I've ever seen. It was pretty remarkable. And
go ahead.
It's crazy. They talk so much about Kelsey to Tariq are the best duo in football. They dropped a lot of balls for being so great. Hopkins doesn't drop that ball in a big moment. I can go down the list here. I don't think Metcalf drops that ball. Baldwin definitely doesn't. Julio doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But Mahomes got pressured. It said he got pressured 52% of his dropbacks, and just a few weeks ago, Lamar versus the Bills, he got pressured on 55% of his dropbacks with worse weapons, and with 25 miles per hour wind, and everyone was blaming that game on Lamar, and he got knocked out the game too. He didn't even finish the game.
And the same thing in the AFC Championship game where Josh Allen was, running around for his life, trying to make things happen, trying to come back. and he ended up having better stats in the AFC Championship game than Mahomes did in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, I mean this is second. This is the second bad game Mahomes had in the Super Bowl. Last year he didn't play well.
Yeah.
This year didn't play well either.
Yeah, very, very true. You make a good point, and it's something that he's an incredible player. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, he's great.
When we put him side by side by Brady, let's take a step back and maybe take a breath. And he has had an incredible run or start to his career, but let's think for a second. Like Kansas City was winning before. Is it the Kansas City system, or is it the player? And we definitely said the same thing in New England with Tom Brady, and then Tom Brady leaves, and it was clear that
No, that was different though.
Tom Brady is the system.
That was different though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. Is Mahomes the one making them special, or is the Chiefs the one making Mahomes?
No, I mean I feel like you can't compare it to Brady because Brady never had the weapons Mahomes had. Mahomes got he got the best tight end in the league, and he might have the best receiver in the league. I mean, give that to any QB. Give that to Trubisky. he'll look solid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you put Josh Allen on the Chiefs, we're talking about Josh Allen being Super Bowl MVP, league MVP. Like it's different than if Mahomes was on New England.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why when you were trying to compare Mahomes to Tom Brady as the GOAT, that's why I was so taken back. Because I mean, I don't know. I mean, Mahomes is really good, but he hasn't proved that much to me yet. Honestly.
Yeah, he's on his rookie deal, and he got a huge extension, and I think it was the right move.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think his extension was the thing to do. He's definitely the face not just of the Chiefs, but the league down the road. He's a special player, but I don't know. I do think the Super Bowl was a little insight of let's fast forward 5 years from now when Mahomes is making $55 million a year. And there is no Chris Jones and Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, there. And now it's a bunch of young players on rookie contracts that are not also making Pro Bowls along with him. How does that team look?
Yeah, that's what I want to see too. I want to see Mahomes without these weapons that he has now.
Yeah, I think it looks a lot like Green Bay in the past 10 years.
Exactly right.
Like, a Super Bowl, a couple championship games, and a lot of wild card appearances and exits.
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell.
Yeah. Let's move off the Super Bowl here. Let's go to the same draft class as Mahomes and talk about Deshaun Watson. Is he? Do you think he would have had a game like that in the Super Bowl?
Deshaun Watson?
You put Deshaun in Mahomes' shoes. Does he have that game? Does he get the team in the end zone?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I know Watson's a better runner than Mahomes, so I mean, maybe he'll be able to make some more plays on his feet because I mean, how he had to run around so much. But yeah, if you put Watson in Mahomes' place in the Super Bowl, yeah, I think Watson do a little better only because he could run better. Because that line still played awful.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Now he's clearly frustrated in Houston. Houston is playing hardball, it seems like, and they're saying he's going to either play or sit out. Like they have no interest in trading him. Is that legitimate, or are they looking for offers? Or are they trying to drive the price up?
I feel like they're trying to get him to stay, but they're while still looking at offers. Their president just resigned earlier.
I saw that.
I don't think that's going to help at all, though. He's still definitely going to get traded, in my opinion. Because I mean,
do you think ownership went in and like talked to the president about stepping down in attempt to keep Deshaun? Or do you think it was outside of Deshaun?
No, it was just maybe it got nothing to do with Deshaun. Maybe the president got in trouble for something that didn't come out yet. But yeah, I don't see why.
Yeah.
I don't see the president stepping down would change Watson's mind at all. Like
No, I don't see how it would change his mind either. But I'm saying, do you think that he was kind of forced to resign in ownership's hopes that it does change his or sway his thinking?
I don't think so, because I mean, even they would know, like, why would the president stepping down would change his thinking, you know?
Yeah. Do you think it has something to do with the new GM from New England?
Stepping down?
Yeah, do you think something like, with them just didn't work, didn't click? Maybe it was part of his deal to come over and report directly to the owner? We'll get rid of the middleman?
I don't. I don't. Honestly, I feel like that don't got even nothing to do with Watson. Honestly, because.
Well, no, not saying it has anything to do with Watson, but as far as like the GM, like he now reports to no one essentially, right? Like he's now Bill Belichick.
Is he? I mean, I don't know. I don't know who else. I feel like there's more people above the GM. Don't you think?
Possibly. Yeah, I guess, we don't know the full structure, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, the president's stepping down is a big deal. So I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Honestly, I feel like something happened off, like, nothing to do with football.
Something happened to him, like, undisclosed, that is forcing, yeah, I can actually see that. And happens more than you think.
Yeah.
Do you see Deshaun staying or no?
No, 0%.
0%. And now I know, like, he doesn't want to be there. Like, there's not a 0.5% of him that wants to be there. But do you see them, like, playing hardball and I shouldn't say like forcing him to play, but like either like not trading him and forcing him to sit out on the Texans roster?
I don't see him doing that either, because I mean, what do they got to gain out of doing that?
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, it's just a waste at that point. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think they'll do that, because I mean, it's not really smart on both sides for them to do that.
Right. Yeah. So we got him. You got him leaving. Where do you see him going?
All right. So after a lot of thinking, I think he's either gonna go to the Panthers or the Dolphins. If I had to say, if I had to put money on it.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins a lot. You got me thinking though about them not him just using using the Dolphins to raise the ticket to up the ante on him. I really like him in San Francisco.
You like him in San Francisco?
Yeah, and I think that's a real possibility. I mean, the team definitely has talent. The thing with them, though, is that they have so many free agents and so much, like, cap space, like, question marks, It's not that they don't have money. Like they have the money, but they have a lot of people to sign. So if you get Watson, like he's definitely going to come with a high ticket. You're definitely going to lose out on some of those free agents then. And do you maybe lose out on some of those? Could you hold off on signing because you're trying to figure out this Deshaun Watson deal? Like, and then it ends up not working out, and you're still out on these other players. It's a lot of question marks. I really don't know exactly how that works unless it happens.
Well, no, I mean Watson, his cap hit isn't a lot this year, isn't it? His new deal didn't really kick in.
No. Yeah, true. Yes, it's not this year. His new deal didn't kick in yet, but down the road is going to be pretty significant. And if you know, the 49ers have a number of free agents that I don't think are going to want to come back on like a 1 or 2 year deal. Like they're going to want to get extended and broken off like everybody else. So, you know, if they, you know, start signing some other people to some longer deals, it could definitely impact that deal. I feel they can be a future cap.
I think at the
end of the day, you got Deshaun Watson. Like,
unless you swip out Jimmy G,
you'll make the numbers work.
Because Jimmy G makes more than Watson
this next year. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. Yes. But Jimmy's deal is such a team friendly deal. Like I don't believe like it's that much if he were
no. I'm pretty sure he got paid. He got paid a lot, right?
Yeah, but I think this. And again, look, I'm not a capologist or whatever they call them, but like I don't know all the details, but I'm pretty sure like if he's released, is not like guaranteed. In some form, like on this year, the money on this year.
But
so you got Watson going to Miami. If Miami is the spot, what's the?
No, I got either Panthers or Miami. If I had to pick one, probably the Panthers.
You're going to say Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, because I just don't think Miami's. I just don't think
it'll be a really bad look with how they went after Tua and then clearly flopped on Herbert. Now, so Carolina is your number one. So I know they pursued Matt Stafford very heavily.
Yeah.
I've heard that they offered the number 8 pick for Stafford, which is pretty ridiculous if you ask me. But who do you have them giving for Watson then?
The Panthers?
Yeah, and number 8 pick puts them in a real good spot because that's very few teams have that type of power.
Yeah, I give them that pick. I think it's a number 9 actually. The Panthers have, so give them the number 9 pick, Teddy Bridge, and then just fill out other draft picks after that. You probably got to give up that 9 with like 2 more first round picks. And then a couple of second and third rounds, fourth rounds, something along those lines.
I mean, it's going to have to be a haul, but that's honestly like what they need, and because Bill O'Brien completely jacked all that up on his way out. You know, there's some talented players in Houston, but they're aging, they're expensive, and they're built to win now, and you know with. It's a lot of these players are just going to be lost in 2-3 years if they're not built to win right now.
Yeah, and I just think if he goes to the Dolphins, it's just they'll have to give up that number 3 pick. The Dolphins don't they got 2 first round picks?
The Dolphins have 2. Yes, they have number 3 and number 18, I believe.
Yeah, so like if they do that trade, I feel like they don't have the offense. Then we're able to fill out the offense because, I mean, if they do that trade, how much better is the Dolphins' offense than it was in Houston?
Yeah, true. I don't think the offense is better than the Houston offense, but I think that it's better than the Miami offense of last year
Oh yeah, of course. But I mean, what is that going to get you?
in the playoffs.
Is it? You
I
think they're better
so.
than the
They're
Bills?
11-5. I don't know if they're better, but they get in. I think they get in.
I think they'll be close. I think they could slide in, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I think they get it. They would have gotten in instead of Indianapolis this year if Deshaun was there.
You think they're better than the Bills?
That'll be good. And possibly, because that defense was, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's move to another pretty hot trade. This one obviously does not have the publicity as Deshaun, but it's definitely something to talk about. OBJ, which is not Odell, like many people may think, including myself. Is your boy in Baltimore, Orlando?
yeah. So, yeah, he demanded a trade. He wanted to play.
You want to want to explain to the audience a little bit about like who he is, how he got about, and for those listening for your late night voice and not the football.
Yeah, so he was at right tackle 2 seasons ago, and he was a Pro Bowl right tackle. Then once Ronnie Stanley got hurt this year, he moved to left, and then was a Pro Bowl left tackle. And I mean, Pro Bowl. He always wanted to play left tackle because his dad was left tackle in the NFL, and it was always his dream for him to play left
Also
tackle.
for the Ravens.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, for the Ravens too.
Yeah.
And they get paid more money. So yeah, he's been saying on Twitter he's been wanting to play left tackle, and just recently he demanded a trade, and the Ravens are giving him time to look for a trade offer. And it's just the value that I'm not really sure on, because personally I think he's worth either two late first round picks, or a really early first, or mid first and like a second or a third. That's what I think he's worth. But I see people wanting to do a second round pick straight up for him, and that's definitely not enough. What do you think?
Yeah, I was just about to say I was going to make a point that you had mentioned. A left tackle on the offensive line is known as the most important position outside of quarterback, because it protects the quarterback from their blind side. When a quarterback steps back to look downfield to throw the ball, their back is to that left side of the defense, and you want your most trusted, biggest, nastiest blocker over there, so you don't get hit in the back without seeing and getting hurt by someone like Khalil Mack or Aaron Donald or Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa. So the left tackle typically gets paid significantly more, and is one of the highest paid in the offensive line. So there is financial incentive to play on that other side, and then you couple that with the personal motivation to follow in your father's footsteps, and I'm sure he would love to do it there in Baltimore, like his father did too. And I mean, to me, like I know Staley is really good, but like Brown is so young, like he can be the guy for a long time. I don't know if you move off him. Like I think you try to trade the other guy.
Trade Stanley?
And re-sign him. How old is Stanley?
Stanley's like 26.
Oh, so he's about to say.
Oh yeah, no, you're sleeping on Stanley. Stanley's the best left tackle in the league.
Yeah, but he just like broke his leg or
He fractured his ankle.
We're going to come back to
Yeah, he's fine.
Ah.
Trust me, Stanley. Don't sleep on Stanley. I'd definitely rather have Stanley.
I'm sleeping on him a little bit.
Oh, you sleep. You are sleeping. Trust me, Stanley's way better. Okay.
I might be sleeping a little bit.
Okay, so what would they trade Stanley for?
I don't know. And ultimately, I guess whoever the better deal, is. I don't know who gets the best deal.
Stanley definitely gets the best
maybe
deal.
Baltimore entertains the best, huh?
Nah. I think Stanley isn't going anywhere.
So he's better than Brown.
Way better than everyone.
Okay, all right. I mean, there's a lot of teams that need linemen. Obviously, the Bears, who I watch very closely, they can definitely use one. The Chargers will be scary with one. Sure, I think Miami can use.
That's the
one.
thing about Miami. He's not gonna go. He's not gonna go to Miami.
Why?
He want to play left tackle. They're not gonna pay Ronnie Stanley what he's worth in Miami. You know why?
Wait, are we talking Stanley?
I mean, no, Brown, not Stanley. You know why?
Why?
Tua is a lefty.
Because they're getting.
Tua is a lefty. They're not gonna pay him.
What if they get Deshaun?
Oh yeah, if they get Deshaun, that's a different story. If they get Deshaun, they're not gonna have no picks to get to get Brown.
Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely teams, right? There's definitely options. I can even see them in Buffalo. I don't know how that would work with the Ravens and Buffalo both being in the AFC. And
do they got any picks?
I don't know if they would.
I don't think they got any picks.
They don't got excessive picks, but I'm sure they can put something together.
Oh no, I'm wrong. They do got picks. I thought they gave up this year's first round for Diggs, but I guess it was last year's.
I can also see Carolina going for a tackle, or not Carolina. I'm sorry, Arizona, the Cardinals.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It just
it's definitely a need.
Yeah, I just don't know what they could get back. I mean, I feel like they should for sure get a first round pick back for him, but
yeah.
He
is good.
But the problem is they're gonna have to pay him right away, and how many of these good teams, got the money to pay him? Because he's gonna get at least 17 million, 18 million a year. I feel like.
Yep, I know we talked about Jacksonville and their availability and the financial books.
Yeah, I mean Jacksonville, they're not gonna give up the first pick, but I mean the 25th pick. And then a second round pick.
And they got Trevor, so
yep.
You definitely want a reliable pillar stone to protect.
Yeah, they got the 25th pick and then the 45th pick in the second round. I think that for Stanley would be, for Brown would be pretty fair to me.
So you look at Jacksonville's team, they got that rookie running back who looks very good. They also drafted Chenault last year, who's a promising wide receiver. They got Chark there. They definitely have some weapons on the outside, and let's be honest, like Minshew was thrown at them all year, so they're probably going to be much better simply by simply having a better quarterback. Let's say you draft Trevor, number one, and then you make a trade for Brown, insert him on the O-line, and run that offense out there and see how good those guys could be. And then you worry about 2022 to make any adjustments to see who's going to work around Trevor. Does Trevor elevate some other dudes on the O-line? Does Brown elevate some other dudes on the O-line? You take some undrafted guys and plug them in there, see if anyone steps up. You see how these receivers click with Trevor before you make any drastic moves there on who to resign. Do you make a move? Do you want to draft in Trevor's guys so they can grow together, and you use the rest of your picks because they have plenty in the later rounds all on defense and continuing to build that defense that has phenomenal pieces already, young pieces that they drafted and Allen and I always butcher his name, Chason,
mm-hmm.
and then And then the cornerback too. I'm drawing a blank on his name as well. The cornerback they drafted last year.
Henderson, right?
Henderson, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, that'd be solid for them. Getting Trevor, and then they definitely got because with that 25th pick, I feel like they're for sure gonna go tackle to protect him. And
yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have a multiple time Pro Bowl tackle in there instead of some rookie, you know.
Right.
I mean, yeah. Then go the rest for defense. That wouldn't be bad. The Jaguars would be solid if they do that.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So we have not too much time. Just want to touch on the awards from Saturday before the Super Bowl. A lot of them were very expected. We got Herbert and Chase Young win offensive defensive rookies of the year. That was expected. Got Aaron Rodgers as MVP. That's a big one. That was expected. We got Darnold, Aaron Donald winning Defensive Player of the Year, which you called out. You mentioned it right beforehand, and I was like, no, I think T.J. Watt's going to get it. And you were adamant on that, which surprised me. It also surprised a lot of people. You saw J.J. Watt make a tweet defending his brother. Why were you so confident there that he was going to get that?
I mean, to me, it wasn't even that hard of a choice, honestly. Just Aaron Donald just so dominant. And, I mean, T.J. Watt, that Pittsburgh defense is so good. I mean, T.J. Watt isn't out there getting double teamed. I've seen Donald get triple teamed before this year. And I mean, Watt's good. He's a good pass rusher, but I mean, Aaron Donald, he just changes the game more than T.J. Watt does.
Yeah, I can see that. You also called out the Coach of the Year pretty early on, and Kevin Stefanski, the work he did there in Cleveland, immediately changed the culture. It's essentially the same team that what's his name drafted. He was so awful, I don't even remember his name. But it was definitely just a matter of a true example of how culture is so impactful in an organization.
Yeah, to me, Stefan, that was another easy choice too, because you could just look at the difference from last year from this year to the Browns, and even with Odell Beckham going out, the only games they lost after Odell got hurt was when the receivers got COVID and they lost to the Jets, and then that crazy game versus the Ravens, and that could have went. The Browns could have won either of those games, so they could have been 13-3 and be the 2 seed. With that, and all without Beckham.
Yeah, and they played Kansas City well. Like, I know they lost the game and everything, but
yeah, they could have easily beat the Chiefs too.
Like, yeah, like they definitely, like, I was watching that game closer than I would when they played the Bills in the AFC Championship game. So the year definitely did not disappoint. In the year that we had, baseball had a shutdown for a little bit. Basketball played in a bubble. Like, the NFL just operated business as usual, and was able to get the entire season in. It took a lot of work and effort and commitment by everyone involved, and it's a A+ for what they put together.
Yeah, they did a great job with that too.
Well, that concludes the 2020 NFL season, and we sadly I couldn't be more excited because it's draft time, baby.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite time of the year. The mock
I
draft.
swear, it's funny. Like immediately after the Super Bowl, you hit my phone and was like, "You ready for the mock draft?"
After.
it was immediately. It's man, it's something that we can't wait to start. And for all of you draft fans out there, this is awesome. And we couldn't be more excited about this. So I know I got my thoughts in line. I know you've been thinking for months already.
Yeah.
Our future episodes here are going to be real focused on the mock draft. We're going to put together projections. I think at first, no trades, just put out there, as picks stand, who we think will go where. And then as we get closer, we'll start making some moves and switching some things up. Just like last year, we'll go back and forth on picks and not discuss them prior, and we'll have to offer each other trades in order to make a swap. So it should be fun.
Yeah. So next episode's the mock draft.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
So I'm down for that.
But, yeah. All right. Well, as always, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Please, most of you listen on Apple Podcasts, which is great. Scroll up, hit subscribe for us, leave a review. 5 stars are the best stars. And we also are on Spotify, you name it, wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. Please, you can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. We post on all types of platforms, especially moving into this season with the mock draft. I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot more activity on there. Thank you so much as always. We'll see you next time.